Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is the last of our 12 awesome sessions together of the Eat Real for Your Health Weight Loss Intensive, and I'm so excited. So thanks so much for hello to any guests that are here. Yay, you. I know Yvette is one of the guests. Maybe there's more of the guests, but so glad you're here. And whether you're just watching or whether you're cooking, thanks for being here. You've joined a very expert group, okay? And we have been working together, learning about all kinds of ways to improve our nutrition, and have done so in fabulous ways. And towards the end, while we eat dinner, our fabulous fish tacos, and with our simple roasted asparagus and mushrooms, I'm going to be sharing with you, wait for it, some super exciting grand total results of some amazing changes you guys have made. So it's going to be a great little celebration time. As you know, in the Eat Real cookbook, you know our recipes, that we have an entree and we have a side, and we direct you in our recipe to get the side going at the right time so it all comes out at the right time, right? So we are making the fish tacos with simple slaw and avocado cream. That is located at eatrealamerica.com, but it's also located in the Eat Real cookbook as well. So we are going to get started with those fish tacos, but the first thing it tells us to do is to get and prep our side. So it tells us to do that. So we flip over to page 141 for the simple roasted asparagus and mushrooms. And it's about a pound of asparagus. Wanted to just talk about snapping asparagus. You all know how to snap asparagus, right? I mean, I think you do. And, but you know that where you snap it at, where it's really tough and fibrous-y there, but where it breaks at is where it's really good at. So I wanted to mention that. I think y'all probably know that. And like there's a little toughness right there, but right there is where it's nice. And now these are skinny, and this takes a long time to snap all these, so you might rather just guess it. But this way you cannot waste. You won't waste any asparagus when you do it this way. And I just thought I'd mention that. So mushrooms we've learned all kinds of amazing things about mushrooms, that they reduce our risk of breast cancer by something like 62% or something like that. And we know that they also help fight dementia, heart disease. There's so many great things that we're learning about mushrooms. Always want to have mushrooms cooked though. That's really important. And we are going to use a little olive oil on this for our roasted simple. It says 2 tablespoons. And, you know, sometimes I just put on a tablespoon, look at it, see if it looks good enough, give it a toss. But we're usually pretty right on in that. So I'm going to do about 1.5 tablespoons. I think that's pretty right on. It's just very simple. A little salt and pepper. 1/2 teaspoon. Now, you may think, oh, I'm going to omit all salt, not use any salt for that. And you could do that if you'd like. You can omit all salt. But I will also say that our nutrition analysis is all spot on, so that you can have a little bit of salt and not be too much salt, and that it'll give it great flavor. But we take it into account with everything, and it's serving 4 people. So we've got that under control for you. Alrighty, and some pepper. I should turn the oven on, right? Yeah, we need to get our oven going at about 400 degrees. And I know my convection roast, and I'm going to go with 385 instead of 400, just because 400 is probably a really good number for a non-convection roast. Now this is 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, so that means I have to grind a long time. To get that. So what we're doing is we're getting this prepped for the oven so that it can go in. And I'm just going to go ahead and place this on, I'm going to put this on this one. And I am going to position it this way on my... That's okay. We're going with that. If you only have 2 racks in your oven, that looks good, Betty Myers. That looks good. Nice. Jen, looks good. I like seeing what you got. That's great. Now, I want to just mention that if you only have 2 racks in your oven, then you're going to make room for the fish. We'll cook the fish on here. But if you if you have 3 ovens, if you have 3 and you don't mind dirtying 3, which I do, then we'll cook it separately on a different pan. We've got that prepped, ready to go. We have our oven heating. So now we're going to start our fish tacos. And the first thing that you make for the fish tacos is this amazing avocado cream. And this is going to make a double batch. And if you only want to make half this, you can make half this if you'd like. But you really want to make the batch the way it is. And half of it is for tonight, and half of it is for tomorrow night over your Mexican pizzas. Yeah, I think that's what they're called. So here we go. We're going to start our, you got your food processor. Now I have a Vitamix, but I choose to use a food processor for this. It's just, I don't know, find it easier. The recipe says to go ahead and add the Greek yogurt first, but I'm going to add my garlic clove because I didn't chop it. And I love to just buzz that first because it chops up my garlic for me really good. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add that Greek yogurt, and I'm using a non-fat plain Greek yogurt. And if you were wanting to make this plant-based, you could find they have fabulous plain plant-based yogurts you can use. Coconut, really some awesome choices. So if you want to make this plant-based. Or eliminate it and just add extra avocado, actually, would probably be the best way to go. Now, avocados, you know, being able to get them just that perfect ripeness where they just kind of, avocados are something I have really had to learn to live with and learn to, gosh, you know, they start to go bad on you before you're ready. Sometimes they're not totally ripe. This one looks really good though, so I'm happy about that. Sometimes I would cut this into slices, but I'm just putting her in the food processor. So I'm just gonna take my big spoon and go this way. And you want to get all of the green away from it, like, and you can peel the skin off just like that. Now, I want to mention this about the skin that is inside that avocado, right? So the skin in here, inside that skin is green stuff, and that green stuff really has a high concentration of great phytonutrients. So you really want to not toss it. You want to try to get it. See how I got that much extra? And that's good stuff. 2 avocados in here. You can run your finger around and peel it this way if you prefer. Yay, in it goes. So we've got a total of our 2 avocados in there. And I'll clean off all my avocado things. And then we have a jalapeno going in there, or we can put in there a adobe pepper, a smoked adobe pepper in there if we'd like. That's optional. I've got my avocado lined up to go with that, but that smoky flavor is awfully nice in there. I am going to I keep this one plastic glove in the drawer and I just wash it. I just rinse off my hand, dry it, and put it back in the drawer, so I use it over and over. And I'm going to trim off the end. Krista taught me this, that this is a way to get your jalapeno without, and the seeds just kind of come, you kind of keep the seeds all away. If you don't want heat, if you like heat, include a few seeds. If you love heat, then maybe include all the seeds, I suppose. But I do my best to eliminate all seeds. I like just the jalapeno itself. I find it's not too hot in any way, shape, or form. And that way, this I can just throw away. Where's the picture at? I don't know where I am on my picture. Right here. I can just throw that away very easily. All the seeds are contained there. So that worked pretty good. Food processor is going to chop this up, right? But because it's just right here, I'm just going to run my knife through it really quick, even though I don't have to. I mean, really, I really don't have to. But I'm protecting my hand because not that it's a problem, it's just that it's going to, if I were to rinse my hands off quickly and then maybe touch my eyes, I might get a little bit of that heat. So now what I'm going to do, because I'm so environmentally conscious and I like to not waste things, so I use a little bit of soap on my glove, and then I just save it and put it in my drawer, and I'll use it again next time. Next thing that goes in here is we've got our garlic cloves, our jalapeno. So we need a half a teaspoon of salt and pepper. Half a teaspoon of salt and pepper. I did measure that out a little bit earlier. So you guys have your half a teaspoon of salt and pepper going in there. Again, if you wanted this to be plant-based, you could just use another avocado and not use the yogurt, or you could use a plant-based yogurt. All right, so we've got the salt, pepper, the garlic. We have the jalapeno, or a chipotle chili and adobo sauce. And, oh, I don't have my lime juice. This is the star of the show. I have already squeezed my limes, and I have 3 tablespoons or so of juice. I did this earlier. Used my little lime juicer. So I hope that's in there. There we go. I'm ready to blend. So blending I a go. It smells amazing. All right, mine's looking pretty good. It could be creamier, so I'm going to give it just another half a second. Show me what others are looking like. This is what mine's looking like. Here, I can use this one. How's yours looking? Aha! Christy Rim Chisel, that looks good. Yay! Barbara Christensen, you've made this recipe a lot. You're the one that said that this is as good as at restaurants. I love it. All right, so now we are going to season our fish, and we'll cook the fish and the veggies at the same time. I think after that avocado cream making, it's time for a sip. Onward ho. All right, we need to measure out our spices for our fish, which is going to be 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of that, which that's a half a teaspoon, so I got to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. And garlic powder, just because it's so convenient to do it this way. So we've got a teaspoon of garlic powder, which this is a half a teaspoon, so I'm putting in 2. And then we've got some cumin, just a half a teaspoon of cumin. And another half teaspoon of salt. I know that all the salt, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of salt. But it's all calculated very appropriately, so no worries. And no pepper. So we're going to mix that together, and this is going to be what we're going to season our fish with. So our fish is going to be incredibly well seasoned. I have frozen fish. I'm having a little bit of salmon and a little bit of, it might be tilapia. I'm actually not sure what it is. It wasn't labeled, but it was in my freezer. Yeah, you know one of those stories, don't you? It might be flounder. It might be tilapia. I'm not quite so sure. Lots of seasoning. And if you feel like it's more than you need, you can save a little bit of extra for another time. Doing both sides of your fish. Since my salmon has a skin on the other side, I'm really not being able to season both sides, which, see if I would have followed the recipe and not use salmon. All right, but I used all my seasoning. First I thought it was going to be more than I needed, but it's not. It's perfect when you do both sides of your fish. It's perfect. We're going to have them wonderfully seasoned. So now you have your choice of putting your fish on your thing, on with your asparagus, or over here separately. I'm going to put it over here separately. All right, I have my fish ready. I have my asparagus ready to go in the oven. Are we ready? I know I say no chef left behind. I'm hoping we're ready to go. I'm going to place mine in. This is like a 10-minute deal on the asparagus, and it's 10 minutes on our fish. So it's great that both those two are going to come out right at the same time. So let's set that timer for 10 minutes. And what's next is to make the slaw. We have, for the slaw, 2 cups of shredded cabbage. And I cheated and bought already shredded cabbage. And I do have a little bit of red cabbage because I always have red cabbage. I just always do. So I'm just going to add a little bit of red cabbage to it because why not? I happen to have some. Now we're also going to add to this, we got our red onion. I already chopped a little half of a small red onion in there. So yum-a-rama. And then a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh cilantro. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about the cilantro a little bit. And Rita Adams, she asked a really good question. She goes, how in the world do you manage? I love cilantro. And to my knowledge, I don't really use the stems. I just try to go for those leaves as much as possible. Not that I don't get some stems, but I do kind of go through and pick out the leaves, like so, and put them in a pile, like so. And that's kind of how I do it. If anybody has a better idea, I'm all ears about it, but I'm always off putting stems. And I think it's the right thing to do. All right, so I could measure that, but I can bet you that's right at a 1/4 cup of cilantro. And cilantro is one of those things where you think you don't like it, but I really think it grows on you, and then you love it. But some people have a taste buds that it tastes like soap to them. It's kind of a unique taste bud little thing. So if that's you, then yeah, you're not going to like it. So you can use parsley instead. All right, we have a tablespoon of olive oil that we want to go in there. And a tablespoon of rice vinegar. Love rice vinegar, rice wine vinegar, same thing. This is the natural unseasoned. Even if you had seasoned, it would just have salt and sugar added to it. But I tend to go for the natural so that we can control the salt. And then there's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you had seasoned, you might eliminate the 1/4 teaspoon of salt because it would likely be roughly about that much salt that's in there. So that's the difference with the seasoned, is they put salt and sugar in it. And then with 5 minutes left on the fish, ta-da! 5 minutes and 6 seconds, we need to get our corn tortillas onto another cooking dish. And so for Scott and I, it's just going to be 4. Although I know that he'll eat 3. I know he will. There we go. So we've got our time, 4.5 minutes will be good. I'm going to add this in here. So do you like how it's kind of all coming together? I like the timing of this. What I really like, we spent extra time and deliberation in the recipes to really talk about that cadence so that everything comes out at the same time and what you serve it with. So many cookbooks don't go to the effort. They just say, here's an entree and here's how you make it. And then you have to figure out what you're going to serve it with and how you're going to orchestrate your actions to get that served with it. Whether it's the oven and, they just let you figure that out. They didn't go to the extra effort to do that. Well, Kristen and I went to the extra effort to talk about what you're serving it with, when you prep it, when you put it in the oven, when you take it out, so it all comes out together. So I hope you see that extra effort. All that makes me want to take another drink. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, yes. I'm going right in for my fish first, and I think it looks great. Now, remember, we have our fork twisting activity where we can take our fish like so, and you can flake it. And this is just flaking perfectly. Look at that. And it's not overcooked at all. It's very nice and moist. And because it's going to be a taco, I cut them just like that. So they're kind of like, they're going to go into a taco just like that. So that's going to be one taco. That's going to be a taco. That's going to be a taco. And then for my salmon, I'm going to do the same and to be able to flake that. And it is done as well. And if you can see how I'm flaking that just like that, it's perfectly done in there. So I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to leave my skin on the pan to be able to make that and put that into a taco. And I'll use a spatula to kind of bring those out. All right, so I'm going to take out my vegetables. Dun-ta-da. I think they look pretty good. My tacos are ready. This is when I wish I had taco holders. And I ordered some off of Amazon and they didn't arrive yet. All right, are we ready to assemble some tacos? Tacos, tacos, tacos. I like how the taco is just the 5 minutes was perfect on that. To be able to take our fish like so, and I'm dealing with my little bit of tacos, my little bit of salmon skin. So I'm just peeling it right off like that. So one of these is going to be a salmon taco. The other one is going to be whatever this is, tilapia. So that goes like that. Shall I make Scott's for you too? Because I'll make Scott's for you too. He deserves it. He's working hard. Assemble the tacos by layering the warm tortillas with fish, slaw, and then the avocado cream. Serve with wedges of lime or for drizzling. So we are going to do the slaw. I loved buying the slaw already made. That made it so easy. It's like a convenient health food. I might be filling these too full, but I can't help it. And then our amazing avocado cream that you're going to have some again tomorrow night for your Mexican pizzas. Yes, you are. Okay. I wish I had my taco holders, but they're going to kind of go like that. Add ourselves our asparagus to this and mushrooms. Whether you chopped your asparagus or not, take a picture of that. Not only do we have our delicious meal for tonight, we have avocado cream left for tomorrow. And the way, now this was a little bit bigger pan than I probably could have put it in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put saran wrap right snug, righty-tighty to it. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to preserve it. I know in our directions we told you to put it to a different container, but anyway, this is what I'm doing. And I'm going to just hit it with that, and that'll help it out a little bit. It lasts one day easily. It does start to get weird after that, so you're going to definitely want to make those do-over thing, the Mexican pizzas, which are going to amaze you. So I'll put a lid on that and put that in the refrigerator. So I don't know, I'm ready to eat. How are y'all doing? I see that Marilyn Cryer, she's doing the saran wrap thing too. Scott's like, give me mine. In fact, if you got a plate to show us, yay, Marilyn Cryer, that looks beautiful. It is definitely time to show your plate. Oh, Betty Myers, that looks great, Betty. So as far as a cooking class like this, cook along like this, I don't have any scheduled immediately just yet, but I do have a course coming up called Dodging Diabetes Deliciously, which is all about managing our blood sugar, whether we're trying to fight off prediabetes or type 2 diabetes or any kind of diabetes, but being able to, we all need to eat a diabetic diet, to be honest, every single one of us. But we will be doing a deep dive on that. So let's go ahead and go to my slides. Thank you for asking. We have been an amazing group together, and it's time to celebrate our successes. Yay. So in the last 12 weeks, we have been stepping through making all kinds of cooking, like cooking with unique foods, and I'd like to share with you, I asked you to take an assessment at the beginning, an assessment at the end. And some of yours came in a little bit later this afternoon, so we didn't get them, but we got, I think, 36 of them or so, 35 of them or so. And so I want to share you aggregated results of what kind of changes have occurred. What did you think? We asked you, do you feel you broadened your knowledge of good for me foods? 100% of you said yes. More confident in preparing delicious and nutritious meals. 100% of you said yes. And 100% would recommend this program to others. Woo! Woo! Thank you so much. Love that. And next, how did you do? Well, lots of you lost 5 pounds. Lots of you lost 10. Lots of you lost 15. Add it all up. We got ourselves 220 total pounds were lost. And I think probably even more. Because remember, this is only 36 of you that actually got it completed in the last 4 days that we asked you to complete this for us. And that's an average 6.3 average pounds lost per person. And that's just fantastic. That's just, can I just get a yay, you guys? Yay, you guys. Alrighty, next. Some comments. I have lost 10 pounds since the beginning of this program. Weight loss wasn't my goal with this program. Eating better consistently was my goal, and the weight happened on its own. I'm not a creative cook, and I can't tell you how many times I've made something and both's been like, wow, this tastes so good. The flavor. The change is truly a process, and you know you're going in the right direction. When you think an old food favorite is what you're hungry for, and you eat it, and it tastes terrible. Yay, I wanted to keep it anonymous, but you know who you are, EH. And one person bravely sent in before and after pictures. And that is Brenda Conley. Look at this. She says, I have thoroughly enjoyed this Eat Real Weight Loss Intensive. You have taught me so much and challenged me to new levels in my cooking, from loving massaged kale to cooking quinoa and panko salmon. Thank you for being you and for your passion for eating real and sharing with others. She says, last June, I'm down 44 pounds. And since October of 21, down 55 pounds. I have never stayed the course this long. Thank you for your belief, encouragement, and accountability. Rock star, Brenda Conley. Can we look at her in that beautiful t-shirt? I've never been so proud to have anybody wearing the red t-shirt. Look at the red t-shirt versus the first time. And look at that, holding an ice cream cone to an apple. What a great change. And now the Eat Real Cookbook. That's just, look at the difference. You just feast your eyes on that. That's just a really great thing. All right, so thank you to the person that asked that question. When am I going to do more of these cook-along things? Well, this course will be repeated. It's funny. I tell people, when I do a course, take it, because you're going to have to wait a year before I do that same course again. And if you're watching this going, I want to do this course again. Is she starting the same course again? Well, I'm not starting the same course again. I vary them. I do a different course. I do a different course. I do a different course. So whenever I offer a course, I won't be offering it again for a long time, but I will do this course again next year, probably in January. So this exact same course. But I will be doing my diet-free program. We'll be kicking off, and I'll be starting my Dodging Diabetes program. So I change it up. And it's different, but it's all very, very, I want to say similar in that it's different learning, tack on, add more, but that's what we're doing. So let me show you some slides about what's coming